that foundation, therefore you will misunderstand the rest. There's a reason behind it. And as the brother mentioned, when is evil occurring, is evil from one angle, from us, it's evil. But with God, it's purely good. Why? Because there's nothing comes from God except good. So now let me ask you, how do you know what is evil?
I don't know what to know, but
No, but how?
I know.
Because there is what the
That
opposite.
everything. Yeah.
Because it's opposite.
Because it's good.
If there is no one short, everyone's told, you will never know what is short.
Sorry, bro. No, but I can imagine living in a world where there's no good, everything is evil. I would know it's evil.
No, you don't. I'm telling you.
If I went to a war zone,
It'd be normal.
It'll be normal. Yeah, it'll be normal.
You benefit from the. You know what a good day is. A good day is when the sun's shining and stuff. You can't see that if every day is cold or if every day was sunny.
So just one thing.
accept that, I don't accept that.
No, okay. If everyone is told, everyone was created told,
Yeah.
would you ever come to know what is short?
No.
See, that's my point. In order for you to know what is short, it has to be the opposite of told. And one of the wisdom of evil occurring for the creator show you that is a powerful, that you can create something and create the opposite to it. Understand? Likewise, as the brother mentioned, in order for us to reflect and likewise to expose the people, sometimes the test, not sometimes, all the time expose people. For example, you have a friend, always say, I care about you, I love you, I do everything. Because there's no hardship you are going through to know if he's speaking the truth or not. But when the hardship comes, then you come to know it. You understand? So there's many wisdoms. Of course, but you have to understand that the wisdom of the Creator is beyond our understanding.
So some we get and some we don't get. Some we get and we can see the wisdom clearly in it. So for example,
Why doesn't he explain it?
no, he explains some, but again, hang on, we have limited minds, so we can't understand everything. We can't understand the wisdom for everything. By our very nature, we have a limited mind. Okay?
So from my perspective, that just sounds like there's some stuff going on which doesn't seem to make any logical sense.
Again, there's a difference between something that is,
Mission of that.
there's a difference between something that is against reason and something that is beyond reason. I give 2 examples, yeah? You said you're size 12, yeah? And you, now, you analyze the same, your name was, sorry? What's your name? Dominic. Dominic's shoe size is size 11. Based upon your knowledge,
No,
you know that's right.
No, it's agnostic.
So what is it, true or false? Okay. Now, my name is Anwar. So Anwar's shoe size is size 9. Is that true or false? No, Anwar's shoe size is Anwar's shoe size is size 9. True or false? Without looking, it's the point, beyond your knowledge. So one, you know it's wrong because it contradicts your knowledge. The other one, you don't know if it's wrong or right because it's beyond your knowledge. There's a difference between beyond your knowledge and against your knowledge. Yeah? So there's some things that are beyond our knowledge. We don't understand the fullness of. Let's just give an example that some of our classical scholars mention. Can you enumerate the stars? Can you enumerate? Do you know how many stars there are? To the detail. Can you enumerate the leaves on the trees? Can you enumerate the fish in the sea?
I mean, you could.
Can't. Because every time you get to the last one, there'll be another one. No, because every time you get to the last one that you found on this tree, there'll be another one growing somewhere else. So you can't do it. Can you enumerate the hairs in your head? Can't really, because every time you get to the end, there's another one that just grew. And there's so many fine details, it can't be done. So what I'm saying is, you can't have this comprehensive.
So many follicles.
Exactly. So you can't have this comprehensive knowledge, literally about the hairs in your own head, and literally about the trees that you can sight. What about? What to the exact one?
Whose phone is this?
To the exact one. But you don't know if that follicle's full or not.
You'll see if there's a hair coming out of there.
Yeah, but by the time that one you've counted it, there's another one that grows. This is how quick the hair grows.
Your hair follicles are.
Okay, you're getting caught in a tangent. You can't count the trees. Yeah, you can't really and truly. I don't know anybody that's counted their heads, their hairs on their heads. So my point is this, is that we can't have a full comprehensive knowledge about that which is around us. So how can we have a full comprehensive knowledge about the Creator? We can have a partial knowledge and understanding of it. We can't know the fullness of it. So this is the point, that based upon what we can understand, this is what our Creator wants from us. He wants us to be grateful to Him and give Him His rights, and then also the rights those secondary, the rights to those on a horizontal level around us, starting with the mother, then the mother, then the mother, then the father, and then the closest people around you like that. That's how the rights go. Okay? So when we understand this, we can see that there's a full system that we have in place, and we follow this. It's all guidance. Some of the guidance we understand, some of the guidance we don't understand. You've seen, for example, in Mecca, we go, you know Mecca in Saudi Arabia? We go around, you've seen the black cube, the Kaaba, yeah? So we go around that 7 times. Why 7, why not 6? God says it, we submit to it. Like this, your close friend tells you to come to his house. When you come in, I beg you just take off your shoes and put them there. Hang on. You go into his house and say, hang on, why did you tell me to put them there? Why did you tell me to put them there? No, that's the rules of his house. It's his house, just submit. Yeah.
Don't think, obey.
No, it's not don't think, because this is in line with your reason. It's not beyond. So it's beyond, not against. It's not against your reason to believe that this bottle has a creator. But it's beyond your reason to know what's the name of the guy who made it, or what his shoe said. That's beyond your knowledge. It's different to against your knowledge. So there are some things in Islam that are beyond our comprehension. We don't understand what paradise is. Why? Because we have a finite mind. Okay, we only see it in a certain amount of colours. We don't know what that would be like in paradise. But we have basic descriptions that would give us a general idea. Yeah. So do you understand?
I hear what you're saying, but
it boils down to belief in the creator. If you don't understand that bit and you can't grasp that bit, everything else will not follow. Because this is the foundation. So again, we're making the simple claim that bottle is less complex than a fly, and we can't make a fly with all of our knowledge, all of our power, all of our ten. If you was to say that bottle came about with no knowledge, no power, then that would be ridiculous, absurd. You would never accept it. But yet you obligate it to say for the fly. It's obligatory to believe that it came about with no knowledge. If you don't believe in the creator, Allah mentions in the Quran, "Am khuluqu min ghayri shay'in." Am khalaqa as-samawati wal ard bal la yuqinun. Did mankind, and focus on this ayah, focus on this verse, did mankind come from nothing, or did he create himself, or did he create the heavens and the earth? Those who disbelieve have no firm belief. So if you don't believe in this creator, there is no firm belief that you're coming with. It's just speculation, conjecture. I can explain that bottle coming around through a number of mental gymnastics, but it won't give a satisfactory answer. And that's the same thing with the fly. I can explain it through this and this and evolution, but you can't explain how the first life came from non-life. You can't explain these things. Okay, so you can give some sort of explanation, but what's the power of that explanation? Does it satisfy, or is it only because you're doing everything to believe in a creator that you're going to explain it in a materialistic way only? Do you see the point?
Yeah, your whole thing falls down if you don't believe in God.
So, and we're giving you evidences for God, and you've already seen them. I haven't shown you something you haven't seen. Yeah, I haven't. It's the same with the bottle. Can I argue? Can I argue for the sake of it? Can I put?
Was it this guy filming you in this one?
This is on me. Yeah, he doesn't want to be filmed.
I want to be in the show.
Yeah. That's fine. I think you're on the light, but not in the camera. So, if I really wanted to, if I have a religious belief, let's say a religious belief that I don't believe that this bottle was made by a human, okay? Can I explain it materialistically? I say, well, the plastic got heated and ink fell on it, and could you explain that way? It wouldn't be that this bottle came about.
Right.
You can't explain it that way. No, you can, but it would be very ridiculous.
Yeah, we said so.
Yeah, but I can attempt to, can't I?
Try.
Yeah, but it's not going to be very convincing. So this is what's happening. People are attempting to explain how the fly came about, or using mental gymnastics, invoking things that we can't see, and how did the first life come in? We don't know. But when it goes back to it, that fly is more complex than this bottle. And I keep mentioning this because it's an easy thing to understand, and you can see the contrast. That fly is more complex and requires more knowledge and more a greater power and greater wisdom to make this bottle. To that fly to make this bottle. Now we can absolutely understand that so easily, so basic.
Why they're designed false?
How? But hang on. Firstly,
Prostate never stops growing.
I don't know about that.
It does. It never stops growing. So middle-aged men, they become more and more Constantly needs to go to the toilet because their prostate just never stops growing.
Allah knows best on that. There's certain things I need to look into what's the medical thing, and is there things that are in our life that can cure that? Is there certain actions that we do that cure that? And maybe that's like saying basically if you was to eat a certain food that would poison you. Is that a designed food? No. There may be actions that we can do to avoid that. There may be actions that we can do to kind of get around that. Something that we can do to avoid, or something that we can.
Can't get around it. It's just a part of aging.
So what, everyone becomes incontinent.
Well, they don't become incontinent. The prostate just keeps on growing and growing.
If again, mankind, we are not perfect. Our Creator made us with imperfections. From the imperfections, from the imperfections that we have within us, we're not angels.
I thought you assumed made man.
No.
Design of man.
No. So God is perfect. Mankind, the perfection is only for God. Okay. From the bounties of paradise, we believe is that there is no defecation or urinate. We don't need to defecate or urinate. That's actually from the imperfections that we have in this world that will be removed from us in the next world. Okay, this is an actual belief. So we understand that we're very understanding of these imperfections that we have, and there are actually laws around it. So if a man has incontinence, for example, there's a way that he can pray, because you can't pray unless you purify yourself. But a person with incontinence, there's actually laws around that. So we understand these imperfections, but we're talking as it relates to God. These imperfections are not a barrier to believe that you have a knowledgeable Creator. Do you understand that?
I want to give you a gift, please. That you can read it. It's very summary. Explain what is Islam. You can take it.
Yeah.
Study it, look into it, brother. Understand? So, there's one thing I want to explain as well. That as a Muslims, we have to understand that because we have solid, tangible proofs and evidences that we can establish that Islam is the truth and Allah is the Creator. So therefore, whoever comes after it, even though we cannot comprehend it completely, but we know God is the most wise. For example, I mentioned this example. I don't know. I'll be mentioned it before me.
You use my example. Now I'm using yours. Don't worry.
Right, watch this. Yeah. Sometimes a person have a problem with a headache or problem in his heart or something. You go to a doctor, and the doctor will give you a medication that you put in a place. I don't mention the place. In a place you think, what that place has to do with my disease or my sickness? But you do trust him because you already established this man is an expert and is a doctor. Even though the medication he has given you doesn't make any sense to you. But here doesn't go against the intellect. Why? Because we already established the doctor, he has more knowledge and is an expert in that field. Let alone the Creator, the all-knowing. Is that clear? Makes sense? That's what we come to. And also there's many ways to prove Islam is the truth. For example, what's your name? Sorry, I forgot your name. Dominic. Yeah. What we say to you from another angle, we can establish there's a Creator, then there's the prophets and the messengers. I don't speak about Jesus, Moses, but how a man that lived in the middle of the desert 1400 years ago, prophesying specifically, precisely, in detail about the future. How? If he was just a normal man, bear in mind he never studied, he never went to Oxford University, he never went to Harvard University, a man that was a shepherd, meaning that may Allah blessings be upon him. He came with these prophecies. He said, for example, but before, let me ask you, who knows the future in details? Who knows the future in details?
Dr. Martin Luther King.
No, he doesn't. The details.
You don't know.
No one knows. Yeah, maybe there's in details. People maybe prediction is not new in details, because prediction I can predict about, meaning now I analyze Russia's power, America's power. I'm a personal expert in that field. I can predict. That is not the same as a prophecies. Prophecies, for example, Prophet Muhammad is one of the best example. When he was in his time 1400 years ago, the Arabs were not known to build tall buildings. There was not from their nature. From those who were known to build tall buildings, the Arab, the Persians, the Romans, the Greeks. So at the time of Prophet Muhammad, there was not any indication to indicate the Arabs who will start competing in building tall buildings. Prophet Muhammad said there will come a time. Not only see everyone, we will see the barefoot Arab man competing in building tall buildings. Let me ask you, where is the tallest building in the world? Dubai? Dubai? Dubai, yeah. You can check it. Google it. Dubai. Dubai, Burj Khalifa. The tallest.
It's not very impressive.
Okay, so now, 14 days ago, people had nowhere. They were shepherded, they were isolated in a place. Specifically, precisely. Give me another prophecy better than this.
Well, then the tall building thing.
Yeah, because what you have to understand, there was not any indication to indicate that. There was nothing. The Arabs, if you study the history,
You can just imagine man building tall buildings.
no, you cannot imagine that. Especially people that they even have sandals.
But if you can imagine a
camels.
multi-story building, you can imagine just keep stacking the
No,
stories.
just like an example, you're telling me, no one, back in the days when the scientists used to say things, people they used to think they are crazy people. Because why? Because there was, if you allow me to speak, because there was no any indication to indicate what they were saying. Bear in mind, they were experts in that field, they were scientists. Prophet Muhammad was not, meaning that he never studied, as I've mentioned, universities, he prophesied. But I will mention something which is more detailed about cars. Cars, yes. Prophet Muhammad, go like that. You're too cold, bro. Prophet Muhammad said there come a time when the Arabs, because you have to understand, Arabs, they riding beast is a camel. If they're not using a camel anymore, they have to use something else. Prophet Muhammad said there come a time when the Muslims, or this Ummah, or more specifically the Arabs, they will stop using the camels as a riding beast. And will use a box, okay? They will use of course, what people expect Prophet Muhammad to call it cars. Come on, man, there was no name called cars there. Anyway, okay? But he said so.
You can imagine a horseless carriage.
No, but it's a carriage. A carriage, and the word was a carriage. Prophet is a carriage, yeah. It's a carriage that he moved by itself.
Anyone can imagine.
Anyway, so why no one mentioned it?
I'm sure some people did predict in the future that
No, about the cars. Talking about. Not in the talking about.
What are you talking about, Muhammad? Come on, man. Come on.
Martin
Martin Luther King did that, man.
Bro, come on, please. Martin Luther King.
Didn't he do it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know Martin Luther King?
I know Martin Luther King.
And he didn't predict that black Obama was going to become
He mentioned Obama.
president.
He mentioned Obama.
Yeah, President
He said
Obama.
Obama.
Obama, yes.
He said Obama.
Obama. He didn't say that, but he said a black.
It's obvious. It's obvious based upon history. Don't worry.
It's
I'm
obvious.
saying someone living in
make
that
that obvious?
time could have looked at a horse-drawn carriage and been like, in the future, maybe this thing
I
will
don't
try
know.
itself.
Come on, man. This is like, no. Be honest with yourself. And I really
Carriage.
to go.
Car.
That's why I said, well, Sunni mentioned that. How we knew that?
Carriage. You said he says carriage.
Well, Sunni mentioned carriage.
Right.
Same carriage.
And then it comes from carriage comes car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. And you said the carriage was drawn by something. Right.
But anyway,
Yeah, look the kind of people.
it's still going to debate each other. I have to go. It's too cold in my life. Take care. You got to say, man. Bro, take care. You have a
Seriously, when I look back now, yeah.